Hey everybody, it's Hannah Fletcher, and joining me today I have Kate Coffee. Welcome back to Shared News. We are going to talk about the Kardashians, season 3, episode 2. But before we get into it, make sure that you guys give this video a like, make sure that you're subscribed to us here at Shared News, and make sure that your notifications are turned on so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Kate, what did you think of, just overall in a nutshell, what did you think of this second episode of the Kardashians?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I think we're getting we talked about this, I think, earlier yesterday. We're getting a little bit of a taste as to, that Courtney Kim drama. We're getting that precursor set. They're setting the stage, if you will. And it was also really great to see Scott a lot more this episode. That was really exciting. That's very, OG Kardashians like. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I like it. I'm excited to dive in with you. Get your opinions too.
Yeah, definitely. I very much enjoyed it. I'm really liking this season so far. And something that I noticed with these first two episodes, I feel like we're really starting to get I feel like we're getting a lot packed into these episodes, which is something that I wasn't expecting. But especially with this last one, I feel like we just learned a lot. I feel like there was a lot that was going on, and I don't know, I really liked that. I feel like it was good. It had my attention the entire time. Um
Me too. Me
First of
too.
all, I wanna touch base about it kind of starts out with Kim and the Kanye situation. And I love that we're learning more about Kim and Kanye and what's been going on behind the scenes, her 2 cents into the whole thing. What did you think when she was talking to her mom, and what did you think specifically about like the part where she was like, "Oh, we have to have Apple TV in order for the kids to not hear anything bad about dad." Like, what did you think about that whole conversation between her and Kris
I
Jenner?
mean, I mean, there's a lot to be said about the whole Kanye situation. I think for the Kardashians, their scandals only are so scandalous. Do you know what I mean? Like there's only so much that they can really like dive into, and their scandals are not have not up until this point been to the level at which Kanye has kind of scandalized. It's just a different level. So I think that I I I really respect what Kim's trying to do to try to preserve the image of her children's father in their eyes. Um and I think it's really honorable. I do, you know, wonder how the children will feel about that as they grow up, feeling like their mom like lied to them and wouldn't let them, see what was going on in the world around. Like it's a big part of media that they're not consuming about their father. And I don't know. I respect her. That's pretty much
Yeah.
all I have to say. I respect her. It's hard. It's hard what she has to do.
It is hard. I agree with you. I think that she's handling the situation in the best way possible. I mean, how else would you really know how to
Mhm.
navigate something so complex as this? I agree with you too with what you
No.
were saying about the fact that hopefully praying to God that these kids are not going to grow up and have any disdain or any type of
Yeah.
feelings of like, "Oh, this is what's going on and you didn't tell me, you didn't protect me." It's like, "What how would you navigate it?" I mean, your dad is not okay right now, and you don't
Mm.
want for his father figure image to be tainted by his public figure image.
Totally.
So I was really shocked when she said about having Apple TV. I actually really liked that part though, because it's like, she's talking about how she's trying to keep a cap on it, how she's trying to control the media that's coming into the house. And I guess having Apple TV, that totally prohibits that. So I think that that's a really good parental move, because she had to really like sit down and think that through, or at least talk it out with like friends, family, maybe an assistant or two. They had to game plan that
Totally.
together. So I really appreciate that effort that was evidently made. I think that
100%.
that's really
I
good.
also, think about, I mean, North has a phone of her own. I'm curious, what parental
Yes.
controls Kimberly has on there. I'm like, how in depth are they? You know what I mean? And also, like, I think Kim, there's only so much she can do. And I'm sure she, gets down on herself a lot for what the media says about their father, but she like it's probably hard because she probably shares the opinions and also has to hold her tongue around her kids on top of the fact that she has to filter everything. I mean, it's just probably exhausting in a 24/7 job on top of her 65 million other jobs.
Well, and think about this too, like, I guarantee you they're not always, like when they're not filming, I'm sure that they're always still around each other, so, like, what if Kris Jenner barges in and is just, like, a mom that is mad about something or whatever and just starts going off, and there's I mean, she's got 4 kids there too, so, like, you risk
Yeah,
4 sets of ears and eyes hearing and talking about, like or, visualizing what you're saying and taking it in. It's a lot of pressure. That is a big pressure cooker to be
definitely.
in. And I think it's safe to say that she's navigating it as well as she possibly can right now.
She's doing
Sure.
what she can.
Also oh, definitely. Also, just as a friendly reminder, we are live, so please go ahead, chime into the conversation. We have a lot to get through with this episode, so make sure that you guys comment if you agree, if you disagree, whatever you'd like to say. Kate and I would love to be able to read your comments and to have them pop up on the screen here and have that opportunity to be featured as well. So chime in whenever you
Yeah.
so desire. Let's talk about Chloe's melanoma. So obviously, this is huge. We've talked about this a bit now, and it's just like seeing Chloe and her face. Oh my gosh, it just breaks my heart.
It's so
Seeing this
sad.
girl go through all of this, like, oh my goodness, that bandage is huge. I love seeing her and Malika's friendship, and I love to see, like, how worked up Malika was and, like, how calm Chloe was. That just goes to show, like, she really does keep a lid on things, you know? I mean, she was
Mhm.
literally, like, falling in her arms at one point. Yeah, see?
Yeah, there's that
Oh my
visual.
goodness. But, what did you think of the fact that so apparently they did end up getting all of it, thank God. I mean, my biggest fear is, like, with cancer, they'll get it, and then there's always something that comes back. So I'm praying to God that that does not happen with Chloe. But I think that her just like opening up and documenting this whole journey is just really vulnerable overall.
Totally. I agree. I mean, I think that this whole situation for her has probably been so traumatizing, and for Malika, who cares so deeply about Chloe, I can imagine it's traumatizing for everyone involved. And like you said, Chloe's really keeping a lid on it. She's like a very strong person, but it's not because she was born that way. It kind of feels like she's been almost like has so many
Yeah,
scars and has so much, scar tissue that at this point it's just numb, to the things that happened to her. And that is a really sad part of life. Like, that's really sad to see her so numb to a condition that is probably very traumatizing, and she feels like she cannot express how she's feeling?
agreed. Do you think that we will ever see Chloe have a softer side of her? Because I feel like she's always been probably like the toughest sister in my eyes, just out of the three Kardashians, and then I
Definitely.
mean out of the others as well. But do you think that she'll ever maybe show? I mean, yes, she's showing vulnerability by disclosing, the melanoma, the journey, and everything like that. But do you
Mhm.
think that we'll ever really see her get emotional, or do you think that Chloe's going to kind of always be in this version of Chloe and how she
I
copes
mean,
with things? Do you ever see her getting softer?
we have seen her get soft, I believe, a couple times. I
Mhm.
mean, there have been a couple of moments over the years, maybe not in this iteration of the Kardashians, back when it was on on Keeping Up, when the first time that the Tristan scandal went around with Jordan Woods, that episode, the lid was off,
Yes. Yes, it was.
you
Yes, it
know?
was.
So, like,
Mhm.
I mean, the lid was off. She was she was emotionally not with it. Like,
I
crazy.
know.
I remember, like, it's that clip of her being like, "This is my life. Like, this isn't just reality TV." And I feel like that was the first time we ever saw her, like, really break down in front of a
Really,
camera,
I would agree.
and lose it. Um And I feel like a lot of them feel that way. I feel like Chloe feels that way. I don't think Courtney feels that way. We see her cry all the time, but this I don't think it was in this episode, but a clip on TikTok of Kim, saying, "I wish there was a day where like I could lose it. Like where I could, lose my emotional, lid and everyone else can be
Mhm.
okay and I can lose it." And it seems like they have that in common, Chloe and Kim.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like you're correct, definitely. I think that's probably that was the turning point is when we saw her kind of starting to, um, not be okay after the whole Jordan situation happened. I think that that's really the pivotal point there. I think that's where she started to build her walls for sure, and I think that that's
100%.
what really has shaped her into being, like, the tough girl that she is today. But nonetheless, I'm glad that she's okay. I'm glad that we didn't have to wait until the end of the season to find that out too. That really had me on edge. I'm really glad that we were
Yeah,
able to find out by like the end of episode 2 that chances are she's going to be okay moving forward and she's good.
yeah,
I
I
didn't want to
agree.
have to wait 10 or 12 episodes to find that out, you know? Oh
I don't
man.
think any of us did. So I'm
No.
I'm right there with you. I agree, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of Chloe, I love Chloe and Scott's relationship. I have for forever, but I kind of want to move on to the point where the girls were having this conversation with Scott. They talk about this was a
Mhm.
huge conversation. I was not expecting
Mhm.
this scene to be as like jam packed with information as it was. Like I kind of look at it as two parts. There was a conversation that they had with Scott about their lives without cameras. And then, he
Mhm.
was asking him if that's what they wanted. And then also there's the side where Chloe was talking about like, how can the media say that I don't divulge my life? And then they were reading
Mhm.
articles and pulling receipts. So let's kind of dive into that. What did you think about Scott asking them after we saw the whole scene pan out with the cameras and everything like that, and him saying that the show was the heartbeat of basically the Kardashians? What did you think about their response in terms of that with Scott?
I mean, I agree with him in a lot of
Hmm.
ways. I think I've said this many times, like without this show, I wonder how relevant they would be. I don't know. I'm not
Hmm.
sure you can take out the thing that fundamentally made you famous and stop doing that unless you want to slow down the amount of fame that you're
Right.
you're experiencing. Um I don't know. I mean, I think their response makes sense for them, to be honest. Like, they do divulge a lot. They share a ton. And I do agree. Chloe said something about, like they came in when her son was being born. Like they came in
Hmm.
when the surrogate was like that and she says like that was a very vulnerable experience for me. And I kind of sympathize with them a little bit where I'm like, there are some things that they are allowed to keep private. There are some things that they do not have to have a camera there for. So I think their response is warranted. And I kind of agree with both. I don't know if that's not, I'm not, it's so unlike me to not have an opinion, but like, it's, I like understand where they're coming from in the sense that these are very emotional topics and they've lived their life in the public eye. And I can't even imagine having the media comment on literally every single thing I do and everything I say and everything. And not just like the silly stuff, but also the more vulnerable, heavy things like the naming of your son, how your baby daddy is sleeping with everyone. Like that stuff is so
Yeah.
vulnerable that I think they when in the world in which they have no control over the media, in a show in which they do have control over what stories are being told, what things are being shared, I think they are more than allowed to exercise that right. To exercise that right to limit what they want to limit and say what they want to say and keep it however light or dark they want.
Right. I really like the fact that they used this scene as an opportunity,
Mhm.
and I kinda wonder if it was, like, if they planned this ahead of time or if it just organically came about. Regardless, I think it was genius, but for them to use this scene to really just kinda set the record straight and kind of they
Mhm.
did it through conversation, but yet still kind of breaking that wall and addressing the audience, but without fully, like, looking down the barrel of the camera and doing so. I love that they were able to be
Yeah,
like, "Look, this is what we do. This is what we divulge. We give a lot. Like, it's not up to
they
us what
do.
makes it on the cutting room floor." And I think that that was
That's
really
true.
neat. I like that they
Well,
pulled the receipts.
I don't know
I
if
guess
that's necessarily
but
true
they
that they
are
don't get to
executive.
look at they're
I
executive
keep
producers,
forgetting
they
that they're
definitely get
executive
a
producers
say.
of the show. That's so
Mhm.
true. I keep
So they
forgetting
see
that. I
they see
shouldn't. It's
every
at the end
cut.
in the credits.
It's their names.
Yeah,
It's
they
it's
do.
Chris,
It's
Chloe,
all of them.
Courtney, Kim, like they Kylie, all of them. They all have their executive producers. They see
Yeah.
the final cut 100%. And so it's like I said, like they get to pick and choose whatever the things they talk about. I do think that they do have a responsibility to at least address certain things. I'm not saying you have to like tell us your every thought about this, but I do think that if you are purposely leaving things out, like the Kanye drama, even though they started the episode with that, like it is something that a lot of people are she's getting a lot of heat for of not talking about it. Um, and I feel like that scene for them was to be like, listen, like I'm trying to protect my kids. And at the end of the day, that's all she's ever said. She wants to protect her children. And so I think if
Mhm.
she doesn't want them in like 10 years to watch an episode and see Kim bad mouthing their dad, and I think that's something she's very passionate about with her children. So I don't know. I mean, I think that they share what they want and they're executive producers, so they get to choose. And we kind of just
Yes.
have to take what they give us?
It's really true. It's very true. I also love the part of the conversation. They were all kind of they were talking about the idea of filming, and then remember, it was Chloe or Kim said to Scott, they were like, "Throw a wig on, be a sister." I think they were taking a dig at Courtney, because they Kim and Chloe were going off about how they really do, they basically welcome cameras in constantly, and then, like you said,
Mhm.
whatever we see is what we see. But it seems like they're always down to at least divulge as much as possible. But I love the part where, what did you think, where Scott was like ready to grab a wig and be a sister? I love Scott. I think
I thought
he's
that
so
was
funny.
hilarious. I love Scott. I love Scott. I love him. I've always loved him. Well, I didn't love him and Courtney together. I did think that it
Me
provided a lot
neither.
of drama and craziness to the show, and I love
Mhm.
their children. Those kids are so cute, and add such fun color to the show. So thank you, Scott, for giving Courtney those children. But also, like Scott has just like the funniest one-liners. Like the one-liners from Scott are just the funniest ones. Like, there's no one that tops it.
So funny.
Like, the episode of Keeping Up where he like, the wig is so it's so him. Like, when the whole episode storyline where he became a lord, like, that was so funny. That was so funny, and then if you were to, like, put on a wig and become a sister, like, I would watch that. That's hilarious. That's so
That would be
funny. And, like, the pranks
that would
they
be so
pull, like,
funny.
he's such a great comedic relief in, all the drama and the craziness that happens, and there also are some very real and dramatic moments with him, but those feel very far gone.
I have to say my favorite part was, oh my god, I could cry because I just want to laugh so hard. What was it? Hi, Auntie Chris. Was it Todd Cranes or something like that, or
Todd
somebody that
Cranes!
was my favorite thing in
It's
the
me, Todd
world. Yeah,
Cranes!
Todd Cranes. And Chris is always
It was
just
so
like,
funny. Because I was like, "What's going on?" No, yeah, no, I think,
I
like,
love it.
in closing, in closing on the Scott situation, like, I
Yeah,
thought it was funny, and I would watch it. I wonder what color wig he would pick. They've done every color, so
I
he really
know.
has the pick
He's
of the
got
litter.
options. I know. Also, I feel like
He
Chloe was
does.
definitely, I think it was Chloe that said, or somebody in this scene said that, I mean, it was really Kim and Chloe that are carrying the show. It was heavily alluded to that. And I completely agree. I really do. I mean, I just, it is what it is, just roll the footage and it is what it is. I feel like, or at least that's what we see. So
Yeah,
either they film
totally.
Courtney a lot and she just doesn't have that much to offer compared to the other two, or these two are constantly willing, ready, and able to film. And I think that that's the case for sure, in my opinion.
No, yeah. No, I agree.
Speaking of Scott, too, so obviously, since we're such huge fans, I really am glad that they touched on the car crash that happened with
Mhm,
Scott. And I'm glad that
mhm.
Chris went over to visit and talked about him being such a good dad, which him and Penelope are so cute together. What did you think about the
They're so
conversation that they had, and the fact that Chris is like still so welcoming with him and like views him as a kid? What's your opinion on that?
I love it. I love their relationship. I mean, Scott is really a part of the Kardashian family. I don't think that there's
Mhm.
any ex that is quite as ingrained as Scott. He's quite literally been there from day one, from when they've
Mhm.
started filming this show. He shares 3 kids with Courtney, like the whole thing. Um, and I think that's just Chris's way with people. I think she just is welcoming and protective and just a warm woman, a mother to all, one might say, the mother of all mothers. Um, and I like the conversation. I didn't like the conversation. The fact that they got into a car accident is not great. And I also,
Right.
noted that he said he was really happy that none of his children were, in the car with him. Um, it is quite an expensive car, Lamborghini that
It was a
he
Lambo, right? That's what he said. Oh my goodness.
it's a Lambo. And yeah, there's the picture. It's flipped over. I'm glad that he was explaining how he got out of the car and he didn't get, super hurt, which was so great. Yeah, and I mean,
It's crazy.
there's not much to say about it other than, I'm glad he's okay and, none of the kids were involved and, everything's intact, it seems.
Yeah. I thought it was crazy how he was able to get out of the sunroof. And then also
I
just
know.
I mean, the fact that he didn't even really get hurt. I think they mentioned in the scene that P like wiped some blood or something from his head, but I mean, that's kind of to be
Yeah, he must have
expected
hit his
considering
head.
that that's
He probably that's
yeah.
pretty good for a car crash. A car that
I
flipped, no
know.
less. Like, that's pretty good.
Oh, it's incredible.
And,
But
I mean,
I'm glad that
Penelope's so cute.
I know. I love I love it. When they hugged, I audibly awed on my couch. It was so cute.
Oh,
I love them. I think they're adorable.
I do too. Their TikToks are
Um,
funny, everything, you know? Yeah.
do they have a TikTok, the 2 of them?
No, it's
I
not the
haven't
2 of
seen
them,
it.
but on
Oh.
her TikTok, like Pan and Court, that TikTok. Sometimes
Oh,
she'll
yeah,
film
I've
videos and
seen
Scott will be in it.
okay, okay. I've seen Kim and North. I'll have to find that one, though. Well, I don't know if that
You have
one's
to
still
find
up, though, the
hers.
Kim and North one. Okay, I will.
I
I'll
don't
do that
know.
after this.
I don't know, yeah. Yeah, go look it up. They're really cute.
Okay. Okay, I will. Also, just as a friendly reminder, you guys, we are live. If you guys want to chime in, please go ahead, leave a comment down below. We're also live on TikTok. Make sure that you guys double tap that screen and give us some love and share this with friends and family who also love pop culture and the Kardashians. We love sharing is caring. So go ahead and share.
True.
Let's go ahead and talk about, since we're talking about this chunk of the family, let's press on and talk about Courtney. So I didn't know that Courtney made the Lemmy vitamins. I've seen them in stores, but I did not know that she was actually the creator of that. So
Really?
that was kind of fascinating. I
I
didn't know that that
did.
was her brand. I had no clue.
I did only because I don't know,
Wow.
maybe it just popped up randomly on my TikTok page, but I knew, I think.
Have you ever tried them
I haven't.
or no?
I use different multivitamins that I
Mhm.
love. So I don't really know if I want to have another one. I also don't know. I mean, this is really,
Switch
I
over.
keep shading Courtney and I don't know why I keep doing it. I love Courtney. I think she's great. She's not my favorite, but I do enjoy her. Like, she's whatever. I don't know if I like trust like celebrity made vitamins. Like, do you know what I mean? Like those like sugar bear hair, that stupid sugar bear hair situation. Like, I was like, I don't
Oh
buy this. Like,
yeah.
I don't buy this. I think it's weird. I don't know what you're putting in these. Like, and I feel similarly about, these Lemmy, what does that say? Lemmy Focus concentration gummies.
Yeah, let
I
me
mean,
focus.
like maybe would try them, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to go buy them. Like if she wants to send me PR, by all
I
means,
was gonna
Courtney,
say
I
if
will
you get a
try them.
PR package, then
I will
hashtag let
try
me
them.
try.
Hashtag let me try. Wait, that's hilarious. I hope they're using that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Well, if they're not, you're
That's a good
welcome.
marketing.
No, I'm glad that she said that she's been developing this for 5 years and there was never the right time, which I thought was kind of interesting for her to say. Um but I didn't realize vitamins could take 5 years to develop. I think that's a lot of time. It seems like she's satisfied with the product though, but yeah, that's a really long
Yeah.
period of time I feel to be able to flush something out like that. Although if it's vitamins, I get it. I mean, it's not
There's a
medicine,
lot
but
of
it's also
FDA.
not
I mean, they're
medicine.
not FDA approved, but you do have to go through, I'm sure, trials and making sure that you're not like killing anyone or poisoning anyone, you know?
Yeah, little things. She also
Little
was
things.
being photographed for the Wall Street Journal, and then even at the end of the episode, I know that it seemed like this girl does not like press. I did not know that she was as like nervous when it comes to press as it
Yeah.
seems like she is. So I think we'll get a peek into the third season of that. But yeah, I mean, her cover or her image in the Wall Street Journal looked really pretty. I thought. Again, I just love that she's able
Yeah, it
to
looked great.
shoot this just in her house. Look at her.
She
All
looks
right.
she looks great.
She
Period,
does.
Courtney.
She does look really great. Period. But yeah, so I thought that was good. I'm glad to hear. I was really refreshed to see that there was a storyline with Courtney that didn't involve Travis. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm
I
glad that
agree.
it was something different. I really enjoyed to see that. But
I
good.
seeing the businesswoman Courtney is always a rare sighting. So it's
Mhm.
always fun to see what she's doing, like because I say all the time, I'm like, what is your job? Like, what are you doing? Like, other than like eating avocado pudding and posting about poosh. Like, I feel like that's all I think about when I think of Courtney. And
Mhm.
so it's cool to see that, she's gone into gummies. And I think it's, each sister kind of has their thing. And Courtney has never really had a thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like Kim has Skims and Chloe has Good American and Kylie has Kylie Cosmetics and Kylie Skin and Kylie Babe. I mean, there's a million. And Kendall's a model and has 818. You know, like
mhm.
and it's just kind of, they all have their thing. And Courtney's never really had her thing. It was like
I
poosh,
f
but like,
yeah,
what was that really other than a like glorified blog?
I was
You
gonna say it's
know,
like a
like,
blog, right?
yeah, I mean, she has never come out with any merchandise that she's, selling other than through, at least I don't think so, like, unless like through Poosh, I feel like it was like products she's loving and, how to have a healthy sex
I
life
think
and
so.
how to like make avocado pudding. Like, you know what I mean? Sorry, I keep saying avocado pudding because I just remember that so aggressively and being like, ew, that's disgusting. Who is eating that? Why would you make that? There was no need for that. I don't know. It's not, the math is not mathing for me about the
I
avocado
saw I s
pudding.
I feel like her most iconic thing is that salad that they have. I feel like that is, like I saw it
The
when
salad?
immediately there was, like, an opening shot. Yeah, did you see the salad? You know, the ones that they shake around and everything. I know
Oh
Chloe's
yeah, the
iconic for
shake.
that too, but yeah, the
Yeah, they all
shaking
are
situation.
where they like eat
Yeah.
like they like bite over their lipstick and not to ruin their makeup. But no, yeah, I mean, I think it's like great to see her actually doing something that has to do with business. I think that it's important for her, especially if she's taking a backseat in the Kardashians, to have some other sort of income. And if these gummies are great, then she's always been interested in
Mhm.
wellness. So I think this makes total sense for her. I never thought like a beauty brand or like a shapewear, like that's not her thing. I mean, not that she's ever really
Mhm.
had a thing, but wellness has always kind of been her
Yeah,
thing, I guess. And
definitely.
so yeah, so it's nice to see that she has a thing now. I guess we'll see.
She has a thing. Yeah. Exactly. And then let's move on to the other entrepreneur, the entrepreneur of the family, Miss
The
Kylie.
entrepreneur.
Um, the entrepreneur. She went to Milan and London with her with Stormy. I love Stormy. I'm obsessed with Stormy.
She's
Stormy is
so
so cute.
cute.
So we got to see her kind of take
Mm.
a peek over in Milan, obviously at the behind the scenes end of things, and then obviously she went
Hmm.
to the store in London. Um, I thought this was super cute. Look, I want to what her shirt. Do you like the gloves? Would you wear the gloves, like the
No, I would
gloves on
never
the
wear them.
shirt?
I would never wear them. I was
Uh,
never into it. I always thought that this trend was so weird, like the gloved hands and then like the
Mhm.
shoes that were also the pants that were also connected to the
Yeah.
top. I was
Hmm.
like, why are we wearing this like morph suit? What's happening?
Like,
Like, I've
yeah.
never. I, I remember everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is so gonna catch on," and I like don't feel like it has.
I don't feel.
I still feel like.
I feel like the only person that can pull them up, they're the only people that can do that. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
and
no,
I are not
100%.
going to walk around like that. We If you and I went into a restaurant like that, they'd kick us out because it looks like we're wearing a costume. You know what I mean?
Literally,
Could
or
you
it's just like
imagine?
it's
Yeah,
what are you wearing? Like what in the Willy
yeah.
Wonka? Like for real? Like what are you wearing?
The new one too, the
The
futuristic
new
kind of
one,
one,
yeah,
the
it's
Charlie and the
giving
Chocolate
Willy Wonka
Factory.
and his gross little gloves. Like ew, no, 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 no.
Yeah, exactly. um, yeah, I agree. Also, we saw nothing from Kendall at all this episode.
Nope.
We only saw her on FaceTime. I feel like this girl is always just popping up on FaceTime. I feel like if she has to contractually do X, then that's how she's doing it. Or I mean, I know she's busy. I know she's always on the go, but we just never see anything about Kendall. And we
I
saw
just
her
don't
on
think she
FaceTime, and
wants
that's
to
it.
be seen. She doesn't
I
want to
don't
be
think so
seen.
either. I don't think so either.
She's not interested. And I mean like okay. Like there's Kendall. Hi Kendall. We never get any Kendall. Kendall leaves us hungry
She
and
does.
wanting more.
It cracks me up. And I feel like her and Kylie's conversation is always like just reminiscing and like they're what I
Mhm.
love about their relationship is I feel like they're best friends. You know what I mean? Like yes, they're
Mhm.
sisters, but I feel like the way that they talk to each other would
100%.
be like talking to your best friend. And I love that. Also this
Mhm.
part of the episode
Ah,
where they were talking about their meet and
2016
greets.
core.
Look at them. See,
This is 2016 or
I
is like
think Kylie looks
2015?
so pretty.
She
I
is.
have
They're both
no idea.
beautiful.
I know.
This
Well,
is
and Kendall,
I think
obviously, yeah.
oh, there are flower crowns. Oh, 2013.
20
2013.
you
This is
think?
2012, 2013, 100%.
This is from their
100%.
PacSun collection. Do you remember going into PacSun and seeing their clothes on the rack? I remember being so
I
excited.
do.
I was like, "Whoa."
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. I was like, "How'd they do that? I want."
Oh, yeah, there they are.
And I bought it. Look at that.
And I
Oh
bought it,
my
and I
goodness.
wore it,
Mhm. Mhm.
much to my mother's dismay.
Oh my gosh, it was so cute. I love that they reminisced on that part though too, because like I forgot about those days, and then it made me feel really old.
I know. I
Um,
know, it makes me feel old.
but that is crazy. But I'm glad that we got to see. I feel like we're starting to really see some more of Kylie. I feel like Kylie wasn't as
Mhm.
obsolete from episodes in the past as Kendall, but I feel
Right.
like Kylie's becoming more of a consistent player in the game. So I'm glad to see that. I'm hoping
Mhm.
that we see more from Kendall. I'm always hoping that
I
though.
feel like
Um,
I am
mm,
I said this yesterday to Hannah. I was like, "Justice for life of Kylie." I would like another spin-off series of just Kylie Jenner. And if she is this is her way of hinting at it, I'm down.
I agree. I agree. Well, let's go ahead. Let's wrap this up with talking about Miss Kim Kardashian herself. And this, obviously, this is kind of like the overarching theme of the show, but I wanted to save this part for the end. Let's talk about this Dolce and
Mhm.
Gabbana fashion show that's going on. So
Mhm.
they're saying that it's Kim inspired, which I was stunned when they said that. I think that that's a huge honor. Um,
Huge.
and then what is your 2 cents? Okay, right now, I thought that the feud was going to develop. I feel like it's literally just different clips of Kim saying that she's worried about Courtney being upset. Doesn't even seem like Courtney cares at this point. Or so I don't know if
Not
this is
yet.
if she's going to I guess it's gonna have to click at some point, but it doesn't seem like Courtney really understands. Now, didn't Kim say though that she did talk to her? It seemed like they were going to do a collaboration of like Dolce and Skims, but it didn't work out in time, and she told her that. But it did. I don't know what her reaction was. I was kind of unclear on that part.
I don't know. I'm not really sure where they're taking this. I mean, it's clear Courtney does get upset because of all the things we've
Hmm.
seen that she says in the
Hmm.
teasers. So I'm not sure where it's going. I mean, right now, what like I said, I am Team Kim as of
Me
right
too.
now, even before it's begun, because I'm like, they're Dolce and Gabbana, a major fashion house, comes to you and says we want to do our this runway show inspired by you. That is probably one of the biggest honors that could ever
Huge.
be bestowed upon anyone. So I think that right now, I mean, I'm excited to see. I don't remember this show. I don't remember what the clothes looked like, but I'm now gonna have to go really look at it, and see if I agree if it's Kim inspired. But it's
Hmm.
also kind of cool to see Kim. I feel like for so long was the face of Yeezy. For so long was only wearing Yeezy clothes and doing Yeezy campaigns, and it's kind of nice to see her partner with different brands and do different things after her Yeezy, because I remember after she and Kanye got divorced, she was really nervous about finding her own style because,
She
Kanye was
was.
a very big part of her style journey. Huge, actually. From the time they started dating to now, like her style has evolved so much, and that's greatly in part due to him and his influence and him having these pre-existing relationships with all these fashion brands and bringing her to the next level in the fashion world. So it's really nice to see that she is doing it on her own, and she's working with a brand that I'm sure she has looked up to for years. So I'm excited. I'm excited for her, and I think Courtney should be too. So
I think so too.
we'll see.
They said, was it I think 80 looks or something like that? I think it was 60 from
Mhm.
them and or I can't remember the ratio. It was 80 looks, I think, in total. Now, at the end of the episode, we saw kind of like a teaser for the next episode, and it seems like it's very stressful. Do you think so? Obviously, we know it's Kim inspired. We know that she's been in the fashion space for quite some time. We know if there's honestly anybody to be able to pull this off, I would think it's Kim, especially because she is such a hard
Yeah.
worker. Do you think that there's going to be, and this is just kind of more or less a prediction for the upcoming episode, you think she's going to have a moment or two where she feels like she bit off more than she can chew? Or do you think that she will ultimately be able to rally and get it all situated?
I think no. Kim is notorious for being able to juggle a million things at one time, alongside,
Mhm.
her own personal struggles and, triumphs and things like that. So I think that she's actually going to be able to pull it off with flying colors. So,
I think so too. Especially
yeah.
because it's her
Yeah.
inspired. It's really helpful, you know? I think that part helps a
Yes.
lot. Although
100%.
I don't know, maybe that would be even harder because it's kind of like I don't know, sometimes when you have
Maybe.
to think about you on like a more outer type of like level, I don't know, maybe I would struggle
Mhm.
with something like that if somebody was like, "Oh, well, it's your style, it's you inspired." I don't know, maybe I feel like I would
I
have a
don't
tough
know.
time trying to separate the brand versus me. But I feel like obviously she's got the best of the best by her. Now, she does have
100%.
her stylist that forgot the passport and it seems like she might have even missed her flight. I'm not sure what's going on in terms of all that, but it looks like up and coming for this episode, it looks like her stylist forgets her passport, which is huge. So I can't
Yeah,
believe
that's
that that
bad.
happens. That's really bad. Also, can
Yeah,
we
it's
talk
not
about the
good.
fact that her stylist looks exactly like she's got a very similar look to Kim with the long black
Kim.
hair. The physique is very similar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like her
yeah,
stylist
I
looks like
that
a
is that's a little
doppelganger,
scary.
you
A
know?
little bit, yeah.
She's
A little
influenced.
bit, definitely.
Um,
She's
but oh my goodness. But I don't know what so to wrap everything up, what was your final thoughts, reactions, any closing parting thoughts before we uh wrap it up here?
Um, I am enjoying this season so far. I'm excited. And I'm excited for the next episode. And it's nice to have them on our screens again. I'm hoping that the Kim and Courtney drama unfolds a little bit faster than the way it's unfolding right now. It feels very slow. They really are setting
Mhm.
the land. They're laying it on thick, I would say.
They are, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
my expectations are building for this feud. I'm expected to
they're
see them
building,
do
so
everything.
it better be like that fight we saw,
I was
for
gonna say
real.
yeah,
That
I
physical
agree.
brawl they got into.
Exactly. That's where I'm expecting it to go. Because, like you said, I think that they're laying it on thick, and it's gotta be getting good. That it's not out yet because it's gotta be so juicy.
It's gotta be
my
so good.
I'm rooting for it. I kind of am. I wanna
I'm
see it
ready.
unfold because I have a feeling, uh, it's gonna be very obvious as to whose side we're on, and I think we're gonna stay on Kim's
100%.
side, personally. That's my prediction,
Sorry,
but
Court. No, I agree.
sorry. But all right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. That was our recap of the second season of I'm sorry, the second episode of season 3 for the Kardashians on Hulu. Thank you so much for joining me, Kate. I appreciate it as always. And
As
make sure
always,
that you
a
guys
joy.
like this video, make sure that you're subscribed, turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. And if you guys are watching us on TikTok, make sure that you guys go ahead and give us a follow so you also don't miss out on any of our videos over on TikTok as well. So you guys can follow us on social media. Come say hi, sound off in the comments, and
Ready?
we will see you
Okay.
guys in our next video. Right there. I pointed
I
out.
know, this is our
Bye, guys.
socials, and you can follow up there.